What's good, man? It's OG Drip, man. This channel where we talk about the spiritual truth and how to utilize energy on a day-to-day basis, man. And today, man, we finna be talking about the difference, dog, between loving thyself and worshiping yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, bro, it's a difference. And what people don't understand is the same thing is like when you look at this elemental magic that we got going, right? When you look at the waters that we living in, you got it like this. You either breathing, you too far under the water, or you're staring out the water too much. It's just like that. It's like a whole realm of balance and trying to find out what should you do equally to make your life work out, right? So that's the reason why we're going to break down numerology later on too, so people can understand it a little bit better. So I'm going to break down deeper details on that. But right now, man, let's talk about some stuff because people don't understand. When it gets down to the spiritual stuff right now, we're going to start seeing a lot of egotistical people. And the reason why is because they don't know how to love themselves without worshiping themselves. Now, what does that mean? That means like, okay, when you got love for yourself, that's cool. So you appreciate yourself no matter what situation you in. You understand you got a big teeth, big nose, whatever. And that's just some physical stuff. But when you start loving that self, it's starting to understand how to utilize your minds, the minds that you get in. And we're not talking about get into them and then start using them for bad. So due to you feel pleasure by it or due to you getting some type of kick out of it, you feel like it's the correct way. No, your people around you, that is when they start to play with that exterior energy, right? Because now, due to the stuff that you carry, and sometimes you could carry yourself away, right? And we know most of the world lost. But for the most part, people can at least see what's a decent human being. And this is what I was talking about earlier, when I was like, some people don't even know how to be in a third dimensional. And that's what you're supposed to be in anyway. But at the same time, this is when it started coming out to, I like to say, being considerate of others. So when you start loving thyself, it's just like you looking at someone, and instead of you using that energy and wanting to pull them down and hate on them, you'll look at that energy like you want what's good for you. You want great for them. You don't understand the same thing. So you'll look at your situation like, damn, I wouldn't want to be in that situation, or I wouldn't want to be going through that. So shoot, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't going to treat people like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to be like that. I'm going to take a word to listen. Even if I ain't fully listening in, at least I'm not going to do them like people did me or whatever. It's like sometimes experience bring the characteristics out too. But not on that. But like I was saying, when you got just all zodiacs that's participating and people don't understand why their mind is even set up like that. These are the chakras that we're talking about. So this is where this chakras start becoming egotistical. You know what I'm saying? Is when you starting to love the wrong part of your energy, is not utilizing it to benefit you in the world. You utilizing it to benefit you and not the world with it. But you got to remember, we all in this world together. So at the end of the day, certain things play out. If you don't think you ever heard one rotten apple ruin the whole bunch, like one person have a shootout at this thing, now they got to have to do the whole event over and different and stuff. That's just a prime example of what goes on esoterically. You know what I'm saying? So when you start ignoring your own self, your own chakras, and you start ignoring it and don't want to pay attention to it, but yet go out of your other part of your chakras that make you feel fulfilled or make you feel like, oh, you got structure, or make you feel like, oh, yeah, this is something I love to do with your passion towards, or something make you feel like you more person than anything else. This is when it's starting to get not spiritual. You're not getting more intact and understanding how to utilize the energy that's in your chakra. You're getting used by it. So this is why a lot of people now, when you talk about zodiacs, they don't even want to hear it, right? Because like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. Because like people use the zodiacs for excuses as well. And I like to talk about things like that because we have these zodiacs. Y'all have to understand, you don't have to have power of that zodiac to access that power. That's just going to make the placement just more effective on you. You get what I'm saying? So like, boom, when I'm bringing out mental alchemy, right? What a lot of people don't understand is it comes with, you could be any fire sign, you could be any water sign, any earth sign, any air sign, especially when it's time for you to live in a certain part of your life. But I ain't going to get too deep on that. I'm going to say that for a whole nother video. And I'm going to break down the ways that you can use this stuff, right? But anyways, just to show you that it's more to it. Like the fire signs got to deal with ego, definitely. Because they'll be one of the first ones to be prideful of themselves, like Leo and Aries. You know what I'm saying? The Sagittarius. That's why you see them mainly being the ones, the pastors at the church, feeling like they the ones with the hot hand. They the ones with the hot word. They the ones that could get these things to going. So you could have one of them and have the reading the wrong book, right? And not realize that due to them stuck on the way that they learn, and due to they stuck on their own ways, loving themselves without loving no one else around them, it's not loving themselves no more. It's more of worshiping themselves, where they think that they control energy itself. They think that they made energy itself. You feel what I'm saying? And y'all got to remember, bro, that's why I'd like to say, utilize energy, because y'all not necessarily making it. It's already here, especially when it's certain energies that have been played out before we got here. So when it get down to people that done wore out these type of energies, yes, another person is going to be feeling very comfortable to hop into that path or hop into that percentage due to that these chakras kept getting washed up by it. That's why we say it right now. It's like this the end times, like, right? It's like where people don't want to even listen and understand what's going on, to the fact that they're like, yo, I'll do it myself. I'll find out myself. I don't need nobody. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool if you feel like that. But at the end of the day, you got to realize, nigga, you weren't born by yourself. So obviously it's other people in the world pumping on. You think you run the world because you got your life in a good position or whatever, and just decide to leave the rest of the world behind. It's stuff like that too, where it play out in degrees. But the way that Christians use it, they make it seem like, hey, it's your job and duty to take care of your next door neighbor. That's not what it's about. First, it's starting off internally, talking about esoterically. So when I break it down in the beginning, that's like more of an allegory to helping you understand this is the way that energy being utilized. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it still play out even in the physical world, because it goes spirit, mind, then the body. So at the end of the day, if the minds that these people jumping in, which is why the world is corrupted, and a lot of people don't see that this shit stink. You know what I'm saying? You see that right now, where people is getting praised for being ego, like being a big statue and stuff like this, to the fact that they don't even know how to have no spiritual information for you, nothing. That it's to the point that they damn near like a prize doll. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, you won this, and it's really nothing behind it. It's really just a look. It's really just an image. You know what I'm saying? And that shit crazy, because like I said, when it come back down to the mind, if you're talking about the image, this the first mind. It was Adam first. So when we going off of these people giving us a concept of what loving yourself is, it's not that to the rest of the world. Loving yourself in this world means being more egotistical, being more like, hey, fuck everybody else. I'm by myself. But y'all ain't understanding, like, it wasn't even about that from the beginning. It was talking about a battle that was just inside of you. You get what I'm saying? That you would have had to face within yourself, where you have every chakra have a cursing and a blessing to it. Now it's up to you to find the blessing out of it. And how you know it's a blessing is because when it gets to the rest of the world, it don't hurt the world. You feel what I'm saying? Some things may sting a little bit, but this don't hurt the world overall. The things you doing is making yourself better, and it's hurting the world overall. You feel what I'm saying? Where you putting yourself in a position that now people have to live up to that standard or whatever. It goes that too deep, like that in that masonry and stuff. That's like when you get people that running the utility companies and stuff. Like they'll cut somebody's lights off and stuff, and be like, hey, this is the system, and this is what's going on. This is my job I chose, or whatever. But they look at it like, hey, this is the job, this is what I'm supposed to do. They don't look at it like, why would you choose that job? You're giving people an option to be able to be in that position of power. But man, it get deeper than that though, man. But just to break down a little bit of things of just talking about how these people take things and run with it. So in Proverbs, Leviticus, and a couple of these different books, it talks about loving yourself. Then the Bible goes to talking bad about yourself, right? So they're making it sound like it's bashing you, but that's when in the Bible you got to understand that it's switching over. It's talking about worshiping yourself. So some people looking at themselves like they that overall spirit that control the world, that made the world itself. But no, you part of it, nigga. You part of it. And don't keep thinking you all that, because your ass won't be part of it soon. You feel what I'm saying? But that's just what it is, man. And it's crazy because some people want to be, they don't think that they'll start thinking they're the whole solar system right now. So that's the way that their ego. They feel like, hey, I could do all the work by myself. Hey, I have the attributes to access all this power to the greatest degree. No, you don't. That's why we all is born, and how some people see it is with different superpowers, right? Where someone may be able to be good with talking to somebody that's going through poverty, right? And somebody might hate talking to somebody that's going through poverty. It's a difference out here. And it might be the person that's meant to lift this person up and probably meant to stay away from this person. That's just how the world works. But no, due to us, we listen to how they tell us the world work, right? The shadow power, my bad, I'm spitting all over y'all. But anyways, the shadow powers tell us to work. So what I'm saying is that lets you know there's no mind of our own, no creation of flow. We just going with all of the same things. It's like everybody have to be the same chakra system, and riding along with it, not on the good end. It's like taking the curses of each chakra just for yourself to get through the next day. So like I was saying, a lot of people working today for the rest of their life just to die tomorrow. They don't have nothing to it. They ain't getting closer to the Lord. They're not going to find themselves and how to love themselves. They're going about how a person is telling them what love is. It's telling them how you should love yourself. How do you know you love yourself? And one thing about that, when you love yourself, when it comes to makeup and all of that as well, when it comes to certain women and stuff, if you love yourself first and then you put on that stuff, you'll have a whole different aura when you even wear that shit. I swear to God you will, man. So it be funny, dog, because some people put on that shit and then they power up. And that power that they're getting is already some power that exists. It's kind of like a demon jumping in their body, right? So they don't see it like that. It's a frequency that make them like, ooh, okay. I like to be in this. It's a comfortable thing. Depending on their zodiac, and making them, and depending on their alignments, will make them, and it will show you the place, and it will show you the action that they're doing about it. But it's going to be there, trust me. But anyways, man, that's another thing I'm breaking down. And so when it comes down to a lot of people that don't want to believe in astrology and all that, you ain't got to believe in it. You don't have to believe in certain stuff for it to work. Some people don't believe in God, but the power of God's still working, right? You know what I'm saying? Miracles still happening. We being born right now, even being able to talk on the camera, being able to breathe is a miracle. So when it comes to atheists, they is literally retarded. Like, and there's nothing else about that. That's what you call spiritually retarded. And that's bad. And you know what I'm saying? Once you got that, it don't matter if you can't talk or walk on this earth. If you feel like that you were born for no reason, you living worse. So even the people that's born for 3 seconds, bro, it was a reason to it. And a lot of people don't understand, and it was for them, for their own cause. It was for their own thing. Maybe they had to live in this life to understand that. Maybe it wasn't even a life that they had to actually live into the physical 3D realm. Maybe it was a thought dimension they had to go through. Maybe it was the first dimension going back through the second, but instead it was like the fourth going back through the fifth. And then instead of them coming to paying attention in the sixth dimension, this is when the attention was brought to them, aka they came back in this world. But anyways, man, we're going to be breaking down a lot of this stuff, man. And we're going to be talking about the inverted and reverted like I just did. Right there. That's why people don't understand when someone say this is an inverted world. That's how the numbers going. They counting down the way that we count. But if you look at the structure, it's from 9 all the way back down. You feel what I'm saying? And it get deep because we were thinking and feeling before we existed. And a lot of people don't understand that was the reason why the book of Genesis was wrote, right? And that, man, it get deep, man. But anyways, I wanted to talk about that, man. So love yourself without worshiping yourself, man. Understand there's still a greater power, and it will feel good when you love yourself and being able to access that greater power, because it's going to come. It's going to have you the right one. I could jump in that vehicle and ride in the car with you. I ain't got to worry about you trying to curve off the corner and jump off the interstate and kill me and you. You know what I'm saying? It's like that when they're talking about it. And I'm talking allegory, you know what I'm saying, just to break it down. But even that, bro, people don't even understand it's something called allegory, where this doesn't actually mean this. And they think that the only thing that is about that is metaphor, right? You know what I'm saying? Where it's be like, I got more frost than flake or anything like that, where people don't understand they think that's the only way that something could be talked about. But no, we could be talking about a transmission system, but yet I'm talking about how a person's mind works. That is like more of allegory. You feel what I'm saying? Well, I'm sounding like I'm talking about this, and I'm talking about something completely different. But the way that the position and the actions is playing out, it play out like that. So when we looking at the world, we can tell how things created from the beginning. We can see how people was like, oh, let me build a house. Let me build a house. I mean, a car. Let me make something for the horse. Hey, we could ride this animal. Oh, we could do this. Oh, we could. And this is